are able to do that here. They're so good at Towers of Doom that it's already going to be starting out rather grim for B-Step. Whether or not they have the tools, we'll figure it out. There's probably going to be a lot of global focus coming out from them. Knowing it's Towers, we have to fear the Vikings coming out from Faye. For Superstars, so much so it might even draw a ban out from B-Step.
And if they ban the Vikings, it's all, oh, man, Superstars is crazy picks that they can have because of the flexibility of their players is almost like playing whack-a-mole, right? You're like, no, I'll ban Lost Vikings.
And it pops up in a different hole.
It pops up for something else, right? It's very difficult to truly stop everything, especially if they have a lot of things planned.
Yeah, it's a good point that you bring up too, because a lot of the comps that Superstars tries to build, it feels like a lot of the times they bring in the craziness as late into the draft as they can, so then you only have 1 to 2 picks to attempt to be able to respond to that.
Sorry, I was laughing at the chat between the players of the lobby chat. They were ready to get into the draft, and we're here. Game 1 of B-Step versus Superstars. Can B-Step spot the cheese or the strategies in time of Superstars?
Or
has B-Step adapted?
Do they continue to ban Ariel?
Oh.
That was something that we noted out of their series. Every game they played against Gale Force Esports, they banned Ariel.
Yeah.
So is it that big of a problem? They did it the first pick, they did it in the second pick, they didn't care. Ariel was too big of a deal.
Were they just falsely concerned of double support?
I think
there was
so.
a lot of scare,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, I think that's probably a part of it, right? Ariel is one of the better double supports. Just
and
because
Gale Force was one of the teams to run her.
Yeah, so maybe that was it. Maybe it was a Gale Force only thing, and the fact that we've made it 40 seconds is probably a good sign that it is not going to be Ariel ridding of the Abathur here on Towers of Doom. Superstars, what do they want to back out with? What do they want to ban? I mean, first thought is global choke. Any focus on the global, you really one of the weird things now that there is less of an objective right and wrong according to the first 2 picks is that you then have to set the tone of the type of comp you want to run, right? Gale Force commits to it very early, whereas, you know, Temple Storm waits a little bit later, and that's all you do with that secondary ban unless you really think something is OP.
I like this focus on banning Dahaka away from B-Step as opposed to Falstad. Dahaka, we're looking at a 75% win rate for B-Step, whereas their Falstad is 1 in 6 in Part 2 alone. So it's a much better global for B-Step to have. And B-Step may not be willing to even get Falstad here.
Yeah, they may let it through. They're waiting a bit. 2 globals are already off the stage. Last time we saw B-Step here, they went for the Dahaka. They do put focus on it, but that was the only global they ended up picking up for themselves, even letting the Falstad go through in the draft. So now it comes down to that question. Do they think that having the 1 global, especially with 2 banned out, is very, very important to have, even if they aren't successful with it? Or do they go into something more normal for B-Step here? 3 seconds, we find out. The gray main, mixing it up a bit, like it.
That's some changes so far. Getting gray main, though, objectively a strong pick, doesn't give too much away from B-Step, especially except that maybe they're looking at a Death Volley type composition, but they don't have to with the gray main.
Yeah,
Falstad is quick to pick up.
You know, I was just going to say he's very flexible. Even though he's typically ran in Death Ball comps, he doesn't have to be. He is generally a safe pick. Superstars are going to pick up Goku Zeratul. We're going to have Hosea on that Falstad. Very big comforts for them, taking away the counter as well to the Falstad, excuse me, with that Zeratul. I like that rotation. It's not only a solid comfort pickup, it's a good deny.
Yeah, and fantastic on Towers of Doom.
Yeah.
All around, incredible lineup of 2 heroes in that rotation for Superstars. B-Step now, what do they want to add with Greymane? Still no global possibilities, no pseudo-global with Zeratul. What do they have left? They have maybe Zagara, Illidan. We've seen those being a pseudo effect.
I think they're going to commit to Teamfight now with the Greymane pickup. I mean, they don't have to. They could pull away from it, but just what we see from them so far in 2.0, although today is already different with the Greymane pickup, they went with the Mouth Murden in this rotation, sticking to Strong. Both of those are up. They're both solid here. They're going to go for the Anub'arak instead. Okay, so picking up a different warrior here and a different assassin. So changes out of B-Step. It's exciting to see that.
Gale Force banned Anub versus B-Step every game.
Yeah. It was weird. Both of them banned only those 2 heroes the entire series, and we were just like,
hello?
Why?
Why?
What is happening?
Well, B-Step have them. Let's see how they use them.
I do like picking up the Anubarak when your opponents have a Zeratul. That's a talking point I have not brought up yet, but around other parts of the world, it seems more prominent than just double isolation. It's an old strategy, but it's in fact one that checks out. When Anubarak came into the game and web wrap was a thing, a lot of people were like, what if I void and then anybody you go to kill on, and then if somebody tries to save them, you cocoon them and then drop one at a time. You just drop them by flies, ripping them apart, kind of like Leyline does in modern day.
Anubarak also is generally K1 Pro's hero. Kaf has played him once, so we're probably still looking for another warrior. Superstars are going to ban Zagara here.
Yeah, it's a really interesting ban just because, again, B-Step doesn't seem like a team that's gone out of their way to play that playstyle too much, but then more importantly, Superstars has really good answers to a Zagara for the most part. With their Zeratul, with their Falstad, it seems like even if B-Step wanted it, they might wanted to let it through, but maybe the next 2 picks here out of Superstars are in fact going to show us what their thought process is. 40 seconds here for B-Step's secondary ban. Support is my first thought.
Uther. What else has Kona been playing a bunch of? We haven't seen Superstars on 2.0 yet this weekend. This is their first match. So we don't know if Iacona is on the Uther hype train.
I believe in him. I believe Iacona's on the Uther hype train. I don't know why, but just something in my gut feels like that's going to be the case. B-Step, what do you ban? It's going to be Variant, taken away from Superstars, not letting Sray have that. That has been a hero Sray has been holding tightly to. And so that's a very, I don't know if I would say well-researched because he plays so much Variant. But in fact, it is going to be a smart pickup for B-Step.
Well, Superstars still has Muradin, possibly, if they want to take that here. That would take that away from King Caffeine, too, if King Caffeine isn't playing Anubarak. This could be an adjustment that Anubarak's now being played by Caff, and then we see K1 Pro on something else. But yeah, Muradin's still a possibility. If not that for Sray, he plays a lot of Johanna. He's played a little bit of Tyrael. If he wants to take Tyrael as another possible option of a deny for B-Step if they don't want to let Tyrael Greymane be a thing.
It would be really good to deny it, especially with the Variant not banned out. I would love to see that from Superstars here. It's not only a countermeasure, but it's a deny of the synergy, but they're going to stick with the Murd in there for Sray. Tyrael's an option for B-Step if they want to commit to it. And the Uther for Superstars. I like that. You know, we didn't know if Iacona would be on it. In fact, was on the Uther hype train. At least enough. You know, 1 pick, I guess, isn't on the hype train. It's just...
Oh, it's there.
Believe.
It's the first game.
So what do we see here? We've seen some pretty strange drafts out of B-Step recently. Very all over the place when it comes to their priority, minus just globals and Murden.
Either McIntyre or Greymane, iDream could play that Greymane, but if McIntyre is... Geez, it's so hard to tell what B-Step will draft based on
what they play. Yeah, it's just not there.
Tyrael possibly. They've been playing some Chromie if they want to have that long-range
That's
poke.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if this is the time, especially if they pick Tyrael. We're about to find out. What do we got? Leoric Tyrael.
Okay, so triple warrior Greymane.
Nice. Really, really heavy death ball. These Superstars. Last pick, what do they want? I mean, Cassia wouldn't be terrible into that many melees, but into the Tyrael mouth, probably too much. Who else is good anti-melee, can be a squishy, put out some bursts to be able to help Zeratul?
What about Gul'dan?
He would be okay. He would be all right.
Horrify is what I'm looking at versus all of the melee.
Man, this is tough.
If they put... Zarya is still up.
I've got one.
What's up?
I know this sounds crazy. Jimmy.
Okay, this is the second time you suggest Raynor, and I don't say anything. I suggest Raynor one time. You're like, okay, Gilly.
Okay, but you gotta. Okay, so what? Next time you pop out a Raynor, a suggestion of Raynor, you gotta. We'll break down the thought process and we'll figure out how we end up there.
Okay.
Right. My thought process here is the fact that they have Uther. Uther makes Raynor more relevant in the meta because he doesn't just get blown up, one shot, no passive. You get his Divine Shield. Raynor is absolutely tearing one of the best sustained DPS, which counters not only heavy melees, but he rips through the health pools of all the warriors on the opposite side. But then you have 0 till 2. You have 2 pause buttons for Raynor to actually get work done.
They have Gust, too.
Yes, so that is why I was like, wait a minute. This is one of the few moments where, like, Raynor is not terrible. He has the ability to rip through those health pools, and he's not going to just get obliterated. He can, but there should be enough tools on the side of Superstars. That is why I suggested Raynor.
Oh, that makes sense, because he does have the opportunities to go for Giant Killer at 13, but Cassia similarly can get Martial Law at 16, and that's 3% max health damage if there are slowed, stunned, or rooted, and they do have quite a lot of stuns on the team.
I mean, we haven't seen enough of a real sample size of it to make a call, but just in general, I do feel like Tyrael is a soft response to Cassia. Like, a lot of her impact is through her AoE and through her blind, and a lot of that is negated by what Tyrael provides. Like, Tyrael accents a heavy melee comp, so you're like, oh, Cassia, but then he stops a lot of what she wants to make happen. And that's why I don't feel like it's a direct counter, but I do feel like I didn't want to see the Cassia there based on that fact. It's just, again, everybody's going to be clumped, but if they have a Sync, like, you're just waiting for that to end, and then by that point, you're typically dead.
She's probably dead, unless Divine Shield can keep her alive, or Void Prison negates the sanctification. We're ready to get into it. Superstars are bringing Cassia into the Nexus once again in game number 1 versus B-Step. I am excited to see FaZe Cassia.
I am too. I want to know if we're going to have any crazy, talents come out from her on this side for Superstars. Because we know Faye to be one of the most creative when it comes to the talents.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there watching that question mark. APM, Malfury, we forgot to introduce the other team. King Caffeine playing Tyrael, K1 Pro on Leoric. We've got a new Barak played by McIntyre, and iDream will be playing Greymane. And then
for Superstars, Hosi is going to be on that Falstad. Srey is going to be playing the Muradin. Faye on Cassia, Iacona on Uther, and Zeratul played by Goku. That motor ticking in the background, not something that I've noticed actually before. Never played with that mount. Goku's sniffed out, but not going to have anything gained here as the team's just testing the waters, posturing out. So far, Faye sticking with the normal build, not innovating yet.
That level 1 talent is hard to give up.
It
25%
really bonus
damage and bounce.
We've seen it given up here in North America.
Yeah, one time Thunderstroke taken.
Still love the name of that talent. Good zoning coming out from the anchoring on Muradin. Just try and stop these rotations. Is the Leoric versus Falstad matchup that one is a real interesting one. This entire laning phase out of B-Step is rather, awkward in how they're kind of playing it out. Zeratul the whole time looking for ganks, and B-Step's more of just putting placeholders in check of each of the lanes, making sure they maintain the soak. And for the first time, Superstars going to try and capitalize on a 2v1 here on top.
Let's try to siege. B-Step hasn't done that quite yet in the bottom lane, though they do have the tri-lane.
They do have a lot of pressure down here. What can they get out of it? Big blind coming out from Faye. Enough to scare at least members of B-Step back. Zeratul actually posturing for a gank there on mid. Nah, it's Calf. He's going to be fine. Unless he doesn't have a Q.
Stun hits him. Now he has the Q.
I was like, I don't know. I guess I didn't know the cooldown on top of my head, but without any sword on the ground, I was like, he's going to be just fine and dandy. We have 20 seconds before our altars are up.
Superstars are slightly ahead in experience. It'll be the 2 in the top and bottom. No global exists for B-Step, so that will be an advantage for Superstars that they have Falstad who can get it and then fly down as soon as their safe altar has been nabbed. Sometimes when this happens, we will see teams just try to get both in the top that don't have the global. In this case, though, Iacona gets stopped. APM win and with Elun's Grace and the Moonfire.
He did end up getting the delay, so now the skirmish here set back to even. His top is going to be captured by a B-Step. Leoric finally getting those channels. Zeratul is making his way down. Iacona starting the channel. APM gets the delay. Zeratul and Falstad are going to be here, though, before Leoric. So Superstars has a small window, and they are not going to capitalize. Tyrael's here full 5-on-5 for this bottom altar.
K1 Pro is moving in to flank from the side, doing what K1 Pro does best. drawing the resources of Hosty away, one of the best people to be able to poke away from capturing one of these. Stray goes in deep just to try to stop, and he does dwarf tossing out. K1 Pro continuing to draw so many resources from Superstars away, just hanging out while APM channels the Alter. B-Step claims 2 of the 3.
B-Step pulling ahead here on a map that feels very, very comfortable for B-Step. Showing maybe B-Step's got, or excuse me, for Superstars, maybe B-Step's got it figured out. They, you know, that is awesome to see that they have already picked up those alters, those rotations. Things are looking crisp for B-Step.
Especially because Calf was low at the beginning of that. He had to heal up, and they didn't have the global. Superstars had the global advantage.
And they still out-rotated. They just made it proper. And the amount of time that B-Step committed with the Tyrael Leoric just to capture that top right, I thought that would set them behind, but they're on top of it. iDream getting chased by Goku. Vorpal Blade in. Hosty is going to be able to lock in the kill. Good route coming out from APM, but Stray with the peel. Calf looking to flank up. Can Goku make it out? Stormbolt, and it looks like they're fine.
Meanwhile, Cassia and Uther starting to claim the sappers in the bottom. And both teams wanting to fight for these top sappers. We still have APM and K1 Pro here. There's only one sapper left, but nobody wants to fully commit to that. Especially with Greymane just now respawning.
Throw out the spooky ghost hand. As the sappers were captured for Superstars on bottom, they're trying to get some pressure out there in the downtime while B-Step is committing so many members here up to the top lane. It's only going to be the only advantage, really, that exists, it feels like, on the map. At this point in time, we've got their altars up. Who's going to rotate? Only 2 sitting up on top.
Yeah, these sappers need to be cleared out in the bottom lane before they run in. B-Step may have gotten their support player caught. As Goku spotted him out. No way for B-Step to get their sappers. They're just trying to clear these out so they don't lose damage on the towers in front of their bottom bell tower. But that does leave them down in the number of people in the top. McIntyre gets hit. Burrow charges away.
Saw so much damage coming out from the level 1 there of Faye at the beginning of that fight. Falstad's going to commit to the channel. Stray already getting the first interrupt here. Not even having to cast a spell outside of the door toss. 4 shots moving into the core of B-Step. B-Step starts the channel, they'll get it. So another trade between these two teams.
And for B-Step, that's huge that they were able to clear out the sappers. Their towers are nice and healthy. They even have a sapper camp possibly. And everybody knows that there has been one sapper sitting up here in the top for just about the end of time. So they're finally ready to fight over at Goku, looking to damage and put pressure on APM.
Flew in, he got the stun onto Calf. He's got the Q, he is going to make it out. Wraithwalk is still here. Beautiful Vorpal, but not enough damage to get the pick onto Caffeine. Beat K1 Pro, going up into all of them. Wearing a lot of damage, but the Stormbolt hit APM. Oh man, he got the self-root. I thought for sure that cost him his life.
Yeah, especially because the Ghost wasn't back up yet. No matter who that Stormbolt hit, it was going to be scary for the team, but at least APM dropped roots to save himself, and K1 Pro got out. These sappers do a little bit of damage. They take out 1 tower. Superstars, despite being down in health of their core, they are still ahead in experience. So working on getting heroic abilities before B-Step.
Yeah, they've just managed to maintain a decent experience advantage for Superstars here. It's interesting to see how that played out because there legitimately has been no major reason outside of just the global, and we haven't seen Falstad kind of isolating and getting that extra soak like we normally do. It's almost everybody collapsing at once, but still Superstars is able to pull ahead.
And for B-Step, a lot of being able to be caught up in the macro game early so that they don't get forced to win a late game team fight once they catch up has been having globals. And in this instance, they didn't have them. They were denied a lot of them, didn't feel comfortable getting Falstad, chose to give up Falstad to make sure they had Greymane. So it's important that they're able to stay relatively caught up with Superstars so they can continue to take team fights, because that is what B-Step banks on.
Yeah, the late game miracle team fight is something we have known B-Step to bank on for a while here in HGC North America. But being the level down, they forfeit those shots, move into the core. 28-28 now. Superstars finally restoring it even there, but again, they are a level ahead, 11-10 here.
Ooh, Divine Storm to counter this very Death Ball-y, melee-centric style composition that B-Step has. Hosty's been caught, trying to get away, flies out to his base. 1 heroic ability down, but it was Entomb. It'll be back up soon.
APM getting caught out, dropping the Void is going to be Goku. 4 members of B-Step are here. but they look like they're going to continue. Sanct instantly drops. Saray actually popping the Storm Bolt a smidge too early, and B-Step walks away. Another heroic used by B-Step here.
But Void was too, so it's Void for Sanct. That's okay. They'll have an Entomb up fairly soon. They get the Sappers here in the top lane. But in the bottom lane, that's where the siege is happening, and a lot of B-Step's attention was drawn to the top. Now, Superstars are starting to siege down what could be the first Bell Tower takeover in this game.
Nice knock up there from McIntyre, trying to deter everyone from joining. B-Step is not going to be able to get this chase. You see the members collapsing from above. Looking to flank on, but good scouting here. Saray gets rid of the scouting drone. McIntyre still in the shrub. They figure out the bug is here. But no initiation yet. Sapper giving up for free. B-Step's going to walk away happy.
Nobody from B-Step soaking in the top lane. Starting to send Leoric up now. Hosty will see this as K1 Pro walks in, trading out the damage. Superstars want to get their Sappers, and there's no way that B-Step can stop this. Just doing whatever damage they can with cocktails and spikes.
Sounds like a good night to me. Cocktails and spikes. Let's go. 4 members of Superstars here down on bottom. The Sapper camp competition, fight, battle, skirmish, whatever word you want to use is real. B-Step got theirs escorted in. 3 still stand for Superstars. 10 seconds before this middle altar is going to be up. Falstad's trying to get an extra minion wave to make sure they get the 13, and they probably will be able to pick that up here.
Unless B-Step can maybe catch Faye before he gets that. Faye has been caught. Void Prison hits everyone in. Is trying to break out. Iacona at the same time is getting away from the Entomb, so Superstars stay alive. Awesome job by Faye to be like, well, I'm not getting out of here anyway. I might as well make sure that I can get Iacona safety too. Yeah,
that was very well done, but the Void was down, so Sanctification has no counter up left. Entomb in 30 seconds, 42 for the Cocoon. It's going to be all about the altar now. Falstad getting that mid wave. 13's achieved here for Superstars. First interrupt coming out from APM with that Moonfire.
Hammer of Justice Divine Storm has not been used yet, and we still have Sanctification, whereas Void had to be used defensively to keep Superstars safe. Idream gets caught. No Greymane now. Sanctification dropped after the fact. Divine Storm takes out a new Barak 2. 2 kills for Superstars.
King Caffeine does have a Q in a couple of seconds. Should be able to make it out here, but the chase is real from Superstars. They are hungry for blood after a successful team fight, and they're going to be able to back out. Not only painting the map a bit blue, picking up some Sappers, but more importantly, getting 4 more shots. Maybe 5.
1 second until Greymane's back, and they still have a new Barak, so they're going to just channel beforehand. Maybe try to get the Sapper game instead for more shots than just the extra one they would have gotten taking that out. Did not want to risk it with the shortened respawn timers in this mid-game.
Sappers are going to be scouted out by B-Step. The scouting drone actually even thrown down. Saray gets it, but they are not done. They go in with the Burrow Charge. Twilight Dream used, hits 2. Cocoon is there, isolating Goku, trying to rip him out. But Faye already down. Lightning Ball bouncing, but kind of just tickling at this point. Iacona stuck there into the Entomb.
Ooh, the Gust, but McIntyre reinitiates with Burrow Charge. Now, Idream and King Caffeine are along for the ride too, trying to take out Iacona. Goku's in the back. Ice Block has to be used from APM, who catches Goku. Uther is down. Can they turn it around in time? Can Goku get out?
Without having the value out of this Uther clone, it is very unrealistic that anything is going to happen for Superstars. Goku, the one-man dream, reveals himself teleporting. Vorpal, I mean, you've got wow, he drops the Void. He really wants to survive this.
Hosty's there.
He's gonna.
He doesn't have Ghost, or Gust. B-Step has Ghost.
But is that worth? That's the question, you know, the fact that that's going to be 90 seconds where Void Prison is not going to be available. The intent of that is to be a counter to the Sanctification on the side of B-Step. We didn't see a good Sanct in the last team fight, but if we see one in the next, you know, Goku might be regretting the decision to drop the green ball of save everybody's life that he's been using all game, you know? It's funny that Sanctification is like the yellow circle on the ground, and then Void is just going to be the big green
ball.
You just
semicircle.
When do we get the blue ball that saves everybody's life, or like the red one? We need more circles of life, is what I'm trying to say.
You're wanting more balls in the game. We get it. Triple Ultra Phase, 50 seconds. This was the problem, is that he used Void Prison and now does not have it for this Ultra Phase. That's a tough spot for Superstars to be in. Superstars are ahead in core health, though. If they just get one of the altars, and they do have the global, and they got the Sappers on top, then they would trade out and be even with B-Step. And they are closer to 16, so that is still a couple of good things going for Superstars.
APM almost started that channel, but Sray was enough of a deterrent. Falstad is managing to pick up top left. There's 4 shots in, 20 to 28. The top right's actually being delayed. They're costing Goku his life. Superstars got very greedy there, but can they get the channel on bottom? It would be so worth it. Faye gets it, thanks to the gust of Hosty, sacrificing a member for 4 shots.
So Superstars staying ahead in the core. They're with their core. 24 to 16 and 16 achieved for Superstars. This is it. That's martial law.
You know, that was actually really cool by Superstars. The more I think about it, because normally when you sacrifice somebody to just go and die, you're like, okay, that's not really the brightest idea. But the fact that they gusted and managed to get the extra shot when there was Void Prison was down. The Cocoon, Hosey in a terrible spot. Holy Ground is actually splitting them. Icona with the Divine Storm.
Divine Storm saved Hosty, and now Faye and Sray are here. Ball Lightning ripping through, and they have to use Sanctification to stay alive. Void Prison to cancel that out. This will be a gray main death. Definitely a gray main death. And Faye and the rest of Superstars aren't done yet.
Sray having the Dwarf Toss. Will he be able to go in any farther? No, he will not. They'll play it patient. But what I was saying about that sacrifice is just without the Void, you know, that was the best thing they could have done with their composition. They couldn't team fight.
Yeah, it still got
Goku.
2.
Yeah, that was the equivalent of voiding them all up there. So I like that. Adjustment here for Superstars in the middle of the game. And part of the reason they are 8 shots ahead. They're going to have the Sapper moving in through bottom 14 seconds before we see the 2 members of B-Step. Joined it up, and Falstad's still getting that side soak. B-Step needs to find a way to group to get a composed team fight. Otherwise, Superstar's going to walk away with game 1.
With the 4-man here, they should be able to do a lot of damage to the Spell Tower as long as they can get the Sappers in. And then Falstad's going to do good damage to the Bell Tower top 2. Okay, there they start to run. McIntyre only stops 1, so it's about halfway. There's a possible power play later on if Superstars are able to take out enough members of B-Step where they can take 2 of the 3 and then maybe just rotate in and get the 3rd.
Sray trying to peel as the initiation happens. McIntyre goes in, Holy Ground spitting Iacona, but maybe not the target they want. Man, the Spooky goes in, landing onto Iacona 2, the Gust.
Interrupted Twilight Dream, and now everything falling apart in this team fight, especially with that Divine Storm. McIntyre says good night. iDream and Faye trading out Twilight Dream.
But they stay alive. Nobody actually dies. Now the Flask gets the pick onto Cassia. Over the wall there. Very well done. Goku goes back in onto King Caffeine using the Holy Ground to make sure he can't confirm the kill. The Vorpal, the Void. What is going to happen next?
Man, Goku just sharks all the way around looking for the tastiest target, and that was Tyrael. Trying to do as much damage as he could with Archangel's Wrath, but Greymane's out. Hammer of Justice takes out Malfurion too, and we're looking at a team wipe of B-Step.
That last couple of seconds of that fight was so clean by Superstars. They didn't even, I honestly, I second guessed what team was playing in the blue after watching the back part of that team fight. I was just, with Goku, I mean, look at this. Everything they do right. This was just the team fight, but the kiting on low HP, going in, getting that initiation, vorpaling back, buying time for the 3, getting a flank, and K1 Pro's high in HP. They were all too low before this, but Goku just, he's OP. Look at Hosey even dodged the Tyrael passive with a barrel roll.
Boom. That was awesome.
It was so crisp. Superstars showing that they are still hungry here at HGC North America.
We'll show you which team's known for their team fighting.
Very much, you know. We are at that point where the B-Step moment is going to happen. If it's going to happen, it should have pre-20, but in fact still may. I've seen weirder things happen from them.
And here's that situation I mentioned. Already they took over the bottom, and they forced B-Step to try to take that back because Sappers are going down that. That allows Superstars to go up to the top with their 2 globals, or Falstad, semi-global, Zeratul, whatever that is, but they can get that one too. The rest start to siege into mid so that any Bell Tower is a possibility. And now they've made B-Step just try to deal with everything Superstars has done for a really long time, and that also keeps them from being fully focused on getting 20.
Yeah, this is not good for B-Step here. It's going to be very crucial they play the next couple of minutes. I'm going to dare say near flawless. What are they going to do? They have nobody soaking onto the side. Superstars are just keeping up the dance, the pressure. Not committing to any decision. We've got 27 seconds and we've got another altar. 20's nowhere to be found, B-Step.
B-Step have to hope that Superstars
Oh!
doesn't do this. The Gust!
Hey, Gus, beautiful ice block coming out from 8 p.m. Holy Ground's going to get the split. The roots are not enough to kill McIntyre. Flashy play coming out from Hosty. He does have the epic mount, so he can fly back if needed. And here's the double altar.
Even this, though, B-Step had to stop those sappers, which means that they're not quite in position. Falstad's starting to channel one. That won't be enough to end the core. It's only if Superstars can get both right here, right now. Cameron Pro, Wraith walks away. Spray jumping into the back line. Divine Hurricane hits a lot. Sanctification there, too.
Oh,
Twilight Dream.
It's not gone off yet. Once the Void drops, whiff it. That is now Tyrael, though, goes down thanks to the Vorpal. Can Goku survive? There's one blink. I don't think he's got the rewind. He doesn't have the rewind. He is not going to survive that. He ends up falling. So 2-4-1. Superstars did not win the game yet.
24 health. Actually, 21 health once this is channeled. 2-1. But B-Step have hit 20.
They have. They've gotten the first step into recovering the very, very late game that we know them. You know, I don't know the exact number, but out of probably their last 10 wins, I feel comfortable saying about 50% of them were off of this. Lose the whole game, win a fight, win the game. Just, you know, Towers doesn't maybe aid to that playstyle as well, not being able to right-click the core, but B-Step is so comfortable here behind. Good route from APM. Hosty, no way you're making out of this. Gust, mount, that's the only way.
Faye still in trouble. K1 Pro trying to come in, has the Entomb, and McIntyre's on the other side of that. Ball Lightning will not be enough to save your life, Faye, my friend. Iacona Divine Hurricane's on his way out.
So is Iacona, though. That's the problem.
And taking Hurricane means that he did not get redemption, so this will be a full respawn timer for Uther.
That bites. Having Uther come back might be a justified position, but now with 1 HP on the core, Superstars crumbling as the Holy Ground splitting out Srey. Another member, even with the Dwarf Toss, doesn't matter. Void used by Goku, only making this that much worse.
Yeah, I mean, is salt to the wound.
Yeah, it's like, you could just see that Superstars realizes that the core is at 1 HP so much that anytime something looks kind of good, they throw everything at it just to hope that they get that pick, get that kill, get the fight, so they can be like, all right, we win the game now. We win the game. They're so close, it's making them freak out. They could give up like 5 altars, and the game would still not be over. But staggered deaths, that's how they can lose.
Well, they are going to have to give up some altars. They're activating in 10. Oh, Cocoon is caught. Hosty.
He's got Gus, and that's the only thing. As long as they stay behind and they don't all come from the same angle, which you see them collapse, perfect. He did. 5.
2 altars now with 5 shots each.
That could be 10 shots, setting the core down to 11 of Superstars.
We're going to try to escort these 2, making another 3 shots. If they can. Zoning roots, trying to threaten any position. Superstars trying their best to stop this Iacona who's there.
They cannot lose anybody else. K1 Pro Wraith walks out. He can go down. Goku dropping the Vorpal, had to rewind out. Teleporting. So still control of 5 bell towers.
First set of sappers stopped, but there's another set on its way.
Just keep it coming. Keep the pressure up. As long as you can chokehold Superstars out. What Superstars can get away with at some point is just a boss, as long as B-Step doesn't take it now. And it looks like they're
realizing that now that they have finally, or Superstars has recovered from their staggered deaths, finally, they're not even going to. They're just going to make Superstars defend those sappers and use that time of defense to get this boss before Superstars can get here. Because with Void and Gust, yes, there's Holy Ground, and even with Parodic Reforging, that's awesome, but it's just a risk that they do not want to take.
Absolutely. That was one of the smartest things B-Step could have done, purely on the fact that is how they avoid not losing this game. You know, 4 shots in the core look cool for Superstars, but that is not important. The most important thing is removing the fact that Superstars has a global, and they could get a multi-altar spawn and just be like, well, you're going to go bottom to try and save the game from being lost off 1 altar. Falstad delays, flies up, free boss, thank you. And that is game. So by denying that, now it's very clear how Superstars has to win the game, and B-Step is banking on the fact they're going to rotate, they're going to be able to get a team fight, and have what is one of the biggest comebacks on Towers of Doom we've probably ever seen.
Yeah, that is all B-Step wants, is more team fights.
They want to battle. 2 members only on the Sapper. Hopefully nobody on B-Step can identify them there. 1 altar is all that is going to spawn here in this phase.
They need to head there now.
Yeah, the quicker the better for both sides. Those Sappers really don't get much done. But
there's a possibility
that
B-Step gets way more separated now than Superstars at the start of this.
Yeah, because they are collapsing from different angles.
Yeah, iDream's almost here. All right.
This is it.
Time for the battle.
Nice damage. Stormbolt just feeling it out. Nobody's risking starting the channel yet.
They want to know where Goku is. They want eyes on Goku.
APM, another interrupt.
Sray, getting low.
It's going to dwarf toss. Things are fine. There goes the Entomb onto Faye. Do they have the damage? Can she stay alive? Divine Hurricane onto everyone else. Avoided by a moment, but Faye is falling so very low. K1 Pro, he stays alive. Oh my goodness, Faye turns it around. B-Step's down a man. 58 seconds before Leoric will respond.
Iacona man-moding that, man. He was able to keep Faye alive. I cannot believe it, and that is the first moment in this fight being able to close out this game. Twilight Dream hits a lot. Ice Block immediately after. iDream is getting low. They've caught iDream.
They catch him out. They get the kill, and now 2 members of B-Step are dead. Keep in mind, this channel is all it would take for it to be the game. McIntyre's there buying a bit of time, but Leoric, 10 more seconds, 50 before Greymane's going to be back. But if they can kill Hosty, he gets the gust. Goku starts the channel again. K1 Pro with the delay. He's here, and now he's gone.
No, he tried to Wraith Walk away from that, but there were too many stuns, and K1 Pro couldn't get taken out. This is all or nothing for B-Step now. 3 versus 5. APM has been caught. Faye staying in position so that Malfurion takes the brunt of that ball lightning, and another kill. Hosty flies away. Anubarak's down. Only Tyrael left.
And with only Tyrael left, this is going to be it. Divine Hurricane, merely the cherry on top of Towers of Doom. Game number 1. Going over to Superstars in what I would normally say convincing fashion, but B-Step held on forever.
The biggest thing B-Step did was get those staggered deaths. But for that to happen, some of that was on Superstars.
Yes, some of that was definitely Superstars. Staggered death 1 and 2, probably not. 3, 4, very much was like, oh, okay. So it hits a point where you just go, can we not die? Can we all like group up? Because you know you can't do anything without those members. But either way, I still give it to B-Step. I'm more impressed by B-Step, I think, after that game than I am of Superstars. Not in the sense that I think B-Step's a better team, but just the fact that even getting that staggered death, I counted B-Step out of that game with 1 shot left. You know, just being like, it's towers, we'll give it up, we'll play a better map for us. And they still fought it out, still did all the things, near all the things right to come back.
Yeah, and it was towers, and they were behind, but they weren't as far behind as we've seen them be in games.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes down to the fact that, again, they didn't have a global. They had to deal with a lot of global pressure from Superstars. So B-Step playing that very well for them on Towers of Doom. Superstars does take the